Yeah. All right, man. Good morning. Do this. All right, man. Good morning to you, man. Thanks so much for joining us. Good morning to you. This is going to be week number 2 of our 52-week savings challenge. Tisha Benjamin, man, what's going on? Good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining. Hey, what's going on? So we're back here, guys, here on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, going through our commitment, right, of the year for our 52-week savings challenge. And I figured what I do is on Wednesdays, we'll do this every Wednesday. And the whole purpose of this is to actually help people hold themselves accountable to actually saving some money this year. If you find yourself in a position where you ended the year still not much money in your savings account, your bank account, you're still feeling like you're working very hard but not making a lot of progress. Well, one of those things has to do with discipline and focus. So I figured I'd do my best to help you along the way. So this is a part of the Black Billionaires Club, and of course, when we start talking about building wealth, it really begins with self-discipline, deciding that you are going to spend less than you earn, and then use that excess to then put your money to work for you. But you can't really put your money to work for you until you actually get some capital, you get some money. Some people like to leverage money, which would be borrowing it in order to use it. That's one strategy. But I think the easiest or the best strategy is to actually take your paycheck or take your income and then learn how to live on less than what you make, and then use that excess in order to then begin to start the beginning process towards building wealth. And so that's what we'll do here today. And then also we have a book for you as well that we'll be going through, which I believe is which I consider to be the best financial book ever written. It's going to be The Richest Man in Babylon. So we'll get this show on the road, man. Hit the like button, the share button, all the good stuff, man. New Black Wall Street, bringing to you guys week number 2 of the 52-week savings challenge and The Richest Man in Babylon. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, build life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. Here's your host.
All right, my beautiful people, man. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator and CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. That book there is the study of Black wealth. That book there is the study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way, but if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. So Black Billionaires, beautiful people, man. You can pick up that book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. We'll actually be starting this book, going through this book tomorrow as we continue along with our new Black Wall Street book club. So this is the next book on our list. I figure we'll start the new year off reading the book that I wrote about the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. Now, when you go to the website, guys, not only can you pick up the book, but you can also decide to actually join our club. We have a club available for you guys that actually are looking to be held accountable to your very own greatness. Just last night, we had one of our first meeting for our 52-week manifestation meetings, which is actually to be able to help you guys along the way to get through this whole year actually doing what you say that you're going to do. And so whatever that is for you, I truly believe that a lot of times we don't stay committed to it to the end because we don't have someone holding us accountable. It's kind of like going to a gym and not having a trainer. If you are disciplined enough to do it yourself, you would, but most people aren't. So you actually need that trainer to make sure that you get out of bed, that you come and you go to work and you get your body intact. Well, I'm here to help you get your money straight, right? You get your body straight, get your mind straight, get your money right. That's exactly what we're talking about here today. So if you want to be a part of that, you say, hey, man, I've been trying to do it all by myself. It ain't worked all these years. And it's time for you to look into doing something with people. Then you can join the Black Billionaires Club by simply going to the website and making a decision to change your financial life here forever. What's going on with you, man? Instagram, DB Noise. Thanks so much, Grand Rising team, man. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street. Today's episode is being brought to you by ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace, where we specialize in Afrocentric home decor, personal care products, and also Black art-inspired gifts. Man, you can check out some cool stuff for your house, some cool stuff for yourself by simply going to the website, www.ergjblackbazaar.com. That's right, www.ergjblackbazaar.com. Pick up some cool stuff and know this, that once you shop Black, you never go back. That's right, once you shop Black, you never go back. Our other sponsors, Big Sis Media Group. That's right, Big Sis Media really powers everything that I do here at ERGJ Enterprises. So if you're looking for a website, you're looking for some digital creative design, well, they're a full-service creative design agency with the tools to assist you with your visual and digital media. They're there to watch over your most critical needs like a Big Sis would. Check out the website, bigsismediagroup.com. That's right, bigsismediagroup.com to get all of your digital assistance that you need for what you got going on here this year with all of we're in a digital age. You need some digital assistance. Man, go and let us know where you're connecting from. What city, what state, what country, what city, what state, what country, quite possibly. You're joining us here with us here today on the New Black Wall Street. We're here from broadcast from ERGJ Studios right here in Decatur, Georgia. That's right, Decatur, where it's greater. Hit the like button, the share button if you care. The like button, the share button if you care. One announcement for you guys before we get started with our show. I do have a goal. And so if you're on YouTube or if you have not joined us on YouTube yet, please feel free to go there and hit that subscribe button. We're looking to get at least 1,000 subscribers to our YouTube channel. That's ERGJ Enterprises. That's right, ERGJ Enterprises on YouTube. Go ahead and do something for free that can help us out a lot. We get YouTube to pay for this content that we continue to put out where you don't have to pay. YouTube will pay for you, okay? So do something for free that can help us get paid from YouTube. We're going to go to YouTube, ERGJ Enterprise, and hit that subscribe button. That I really, really would appreciate. Thanks so much. Well, guys, hey, let's get this thing started, man, with our 52-week savings challenge. And we are into week number 2. So y'all know what time it is, man. It's the Save Train. And I'm your boy, Mr. Conductor, Mr. Save-A-Lot here to help you get your savings on this year. That's right, 2020. Let's make it a year that we are prosperous and we begin to sow seeds into our very own bank account. It's the 52-week savings challenge, and we're into week number 2. Now, what that means, guys, is that first we got to have some place to put our savings. And so mine is the straight out of money. That's right, piggy bank. That's right. I got a straight out of money piggy bank. Matter of fact, I got another one coming in that I got for somebody. And I got one more that I might gift away. So you might be a lucky winner of the straight out of money bank account, which just basically means that once this thing gets empty, something's wrong, right? That means that an emergency has happened. There's been a death in the family. I don't know. Something must have really went wrong for this thing to go empty. But this is going to be our savings account, our bank account for what we're doing here with its 52-week saving challenge. Now, it's week number 2. Now, what that means is week number 2, I'm going to put $2 into my savings account. We're going to do this for 52 weeks. Now, at the end of that time, we're going to pull that thing out. We're going to count it all up. And we should be at that point in time about $1,400 or so. But our goal is to get to $1,500 in our savings account for 2020 by the end of 2020. So with that being said, week number 2, it goes $2. So we got 1 and we got 2, right? So we got $2 that we're going to be putting into our 52-week saving, our straight out of money savings bank. And then we're going to close that thing up, and we're going to make sure that we continue to save, right? That we make it a habit of saving. Everybody put a console #save, because the little money that you save could be money that saves you later on down the road. Let me say that again for the people in the back. The little money that you save could be the money that saves you. When you have some minor catastrophe that happens in your life, you don't have to get all up in a roar, all up in the tizzy, because you have prepared for the worst by putting a little money away for the 52-week saving challenge, #save. Now, what I decided to do was, along with the savings challenge, I figured we'd read what I consider to be my most powerful financial book ever written, which is Richest Man in Babylon. But we'll start with our daily motivations for African American success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. Daily motivations for African American success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. And today's title is There Should Be a Law. There should be a law. And our quote today comes from Charlotte E. Ray, who's the first female African-American lawyer. The first African-American female lawyer, Miss Charlotte Ray, says this, and I quote, "God's law lasts longer than those who break them. God's law lasts longer than those who break them." Let's go ahead and find out what Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro has for us today here. Good morning to you, Miss Melanie Peters. Thanks so much for joining. Mr. Jamal Stanley, good morning to you. Miss Sean Audrey, thanks so much for joining us here today on the New Black Wall Street. Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro, one of the greatest authors of our time, says this: in his return match with the great German boxer Max Schmeling, Joe Louis told his challenger during a pre-fight news conference, "You can run, but you can't hide. There's no hiding place in this ring." So it is with life and the principles of success. Nobody breaks the rules of success and prosperity. The laws of success are the laws of destiny. Our Creator has clearly defined mental guidelines to direct our path. The laws of attraction, cause and effect, substitution, belief, habit, use or lose. The correspondence are only a few. Each guideline leads us to the safest and most fruitful path to travel. There's law and order in the universe. The rules for the road plant our feet on firm ground. They are words of reality that can provide light and uplift for our immediate pathways, and they can offer a beam of light down the corridors of our uncertain tomorrows. No law has ever been passed that will keep an individual from acting like a fool, but obey these laws and prosper. Obey these laws and prosper. Disregard them and fail. Some say, "Look what I created." But the truly successful say, "Look what I attracted." Look what I attracted. What's going on, Mr. Corey Bill? Thanks so much for joining us. Look what I've attracted. Some say, "Look what I created." Others say, "Look what I've attracted." How many guys have found in your life this to be true? That as you level up in your mentality, your understanding, you begin to understand that you're attracting to yourself that which you are, whether that be good or bad, whether that be prosperity or poverty. We begin to attract to ourselves. That way, if you enrich yourself, you become a rich person with a rich mentality and a rich vocabulary. You begin to attract riches into your life. And as you drift, or as you neglect, or as you overlook these simple laws, we also understand that we attract other things into our life as well. Now, that is not an end-all be-all. There are some things that happen, luck or bad luck. But at the end of the day, more often than not, we attract to ourselves that which we are. So you got to take a look in the mirror and understand who you are becoming as you attract to yourself that which you want. Here's our quote. Here's our affirmation of the day, guys. Here's what we allow, where we use our tongue. The power of life and death is in the tongue. We use our tongue to speak life into our life with an affirmation. And he leaves us with a great one here today. So affirmation of the day, repeat after me. Let's get it. Repeat after me. I am a living magnet. I attract the circumstances that I desire. I am a living magnet. I attract to myself the circumstances that I desire. Let's get it again, man. Our affirmation of the day from Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. This time, let's say it with some conviction. Repeat after me, and I quote, I am a living magnet. I attract the circumstances that I desire. How many guys are actually attracting to yourself that which you want? That's right, attracting to yourself the circumstances that you desire. Now, if you look at your life and you say, you know what, I'm not attracted to myself the circumstances that I really, really want, that I feel I really want, well, then we must begin to change, right, what we put on the inside. That's why we do this each and every day, for the most part, so we can change the way that we think. We can change our life forever. I am a living magnet. I attract the circumstances that I desire. So if you don't like what you've been getting, well, you got to change your attraction, which means that you must decide to change you. Absolutely, man. The Dennis Kimbro, again, our daily motivations for African American success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. Daily motivations for African American success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. Now, today here on this fantabulous, wonderful Wednesday with our week 2 of our 52-week savings challenge. Hopefully you've saved up. You put some money into your savings here today. We're going to begin our journey into what I consider to be the greatest, the best financial book that I have ever read, which is a small little book, which I recommend to everyone to not only read for themselves, but also to pass down to their children. Because again, guys, financial education or financial literacy and or education, it is a personal decision. I know we can talk about, or we can have a conversation about why it's not taught, or why it's not something that's required in formal education. Well, this is one of those things that my mentor taught me. He said that formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. And so personal finance or financial education is a self-education decision. And so you and I just simply have to decide to learn what we don't know about money if we want to learn how to actually manage it and keep it. And then ultimately learn how to multiply it. To complain about what someone isn't doing for you when you can actually do it for yourself, I think is absolutely ludicrous. It's like, hey, we can talk about that all day long, but at the end of the day, this stuff is available. You and I do have access. It's just a matter of us deciding that we are going to utilize that access. So we're going to start here with The Richest Man in Babylon, a book written by Mr. George Clason back in 1926. If I served me right, 1926. Everybody put that in the comments on 1926. This is almost 100 years ago. And it's still one of the greatest financial books ever written. Question is, do you have this book in your library? If not, you'll find out today a little bit about why I recommend that you add it to your library. Who knew that a $10 book could change your philosophy? A $10 book could change your bank account. A $10 book could add numerous zeros to your bank account because of the principles that are within or hidden within this small little book. Here's our forward. Rich Man in Babylon, our forward. Our prosperity as a nation depends upon the personal financial prosperity of each of us as individuals. Our prosperity as a nation depends upon the personal financial prosperity. Everybody put in the comments, so my money is personal. So I want you to begin to take it personal. I want you to begin to look at your savings account, your investment account, your insurance account, your will account. I want you to start to take your money personal. Make it personal. This book deals with the personal success of each of us. Success means accomplishments as a result of our own efforts and abilities. Proper preparation is the key to our success. Our acts can be no wiser than our thoughts, and our thinking can be no wiser than our understanding. This book of cures for lean purses or cures for for broke has been termed a guide to financial understanding. That indeed is its purpose, to offer those who are ambitious for financial success an insight which will aid them to acquire money, to keep money, and to make their surpluses earn more money. So first, you got to get it. Second, you got to manage it or keep it. And third, you got to learn how to multiply. First, you got to learn how to get it. Second, you got to learn how to manage it and or keep it. Third, you got to learn how to multiply. Now, these are all choices and or decisions. Now, ask yourself now, are you deciding to learn how to earn? Are you going to decide to learn how to manage? Are you going to decide to learn how to multiply? You can blame everybody else, but at the end of the day, this decision, this choice is personal. This choice is personal. In the pages which follow, we are taken back to Babylon, the cradle in which was nurtured the basic principles of finance now recognized and used the world over. To new readers, the author is happy to extend the wish that its pages may contain for them the same inspiration for growing bank accounts, greater financial successes, and the solution of difficult personal financial problems so enthusiastically reported by readers from coast to coast. To the business executives who have distributed these tales in such generous quantities to friends, relatives, employees, and associates, the author takes the opportunity to express his gratitude. No endorsement could be higher than that of practical men who appreciate its teachings because they themselves have worked up to important successes by applying the very principles it advocates. Babylon became the wealthiest city of the ancient world because of its citizens were the richest people of their time. They appreciated the value of money. They appreciated the value of money. Everybody put in console #value. They appreciated the value of money. They practiced sound financial principles in acquiring money, keeping money, and making their money earn more money. They provided for themselves what we all desire: incomes for the future. Incomes for the future. So that's just a little look into what we'll be discussing here. This good little book. I don't know how long, it ain't going to take us very long to go through it all, but I'm going to take it a little bit by bit. And we're going to start with our first chapter, which is The Man Who Desired Gold. How many of you guys are out there right now? You're a man or a woman who desires to be rich. It begins with a desire. Desire is the first step of all achievement. And I realize that everybody don't want to be rich. That's okay. I do. And I believe that once a person gets to a point where they desire to be rich, they want to be prosperous, they want to have more than enough, they desire it, it becomes an obsession. Then I believe they begin to look at their habits and say, okay, is this something that's helping me to get rich? Is this something that's helping me to keep my money? Is this something that's helping me to make my money work for me? Or is this habit, or is this vice, or is this thing that I'm about to partake in, is it taking me the other way? And so, but if you have no desire to be rich, then you'll never look at your habits. You'll never look at what you're doing to make yourself either get closer to your goal or your desire or take you further away. So it all begins with desire. How many guys are out there right now? If you're a man or you woman, you say, hey, I desire to be rich. I desire gold. I desire more money. I desire to be rich or wealthy or whatever it is, whatever term you want to put. Tisha Benjamin said, man, I will be rich. I know that's right. She said, I'm here today giving the word from the richest man in Babylon, and that's my start, right? That's my start, the richest man in Babylon. Let's read. What's going on, man? Mr. Antoine Lowry up in the house, man. Instagram, thanks so much for joining. Those are on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Watch party. Thanks so much for being on here today. All right, no problem. Welcome back. All right, Mr. Darvin Asafu, thanks so much, man. Catch the replay. Fantastic. Rich man in Babylon. 52 weeks. That's what I'm talking about, brother. Mr. Johnson. In old Babylon, there once lived a certain very rich man named Archive. So in those times, his name was Archive, but you just think of anybody today. See, I want to make this relevant for 2020, right? And there is some very wealthy people in our land today. So whoever it is that you want to think about right now, you say, man, there is some wealthy people among me that you might want to get to know, might want to learn from. I don't know. I wrote a book about it. We'll be going through some of them tomorrow. The 12 the richest, the Black Billionaires Club. There's some wealthy people around us here today. So whoever it is in the comments below, who's the first person you think about when you think about wealthy men and or women who live today? So back in that time, they were taught, they discussed, or there was one man in particular that everybody knew. His name was Archive. Far and wide, he was famed for his great wealth. Yeah, I know, right? Also, he was famed for his liberality. He was generous in his charities. He was generous with his family. He was liberal in his own expenses, but nevertheless, each year his wealth increased more rapidly than he spent it. Now think about that for a second. Here's a man who is liberal. Here's a man who gave. Here's a man who helped charities. Here's a man who helped nonprofits. But each year, his wealth grew more rapidly than he spent it. Now, here's the opposite. Here's where many of us are. Every year, our expenses grow more rapidly than our income. And we find ourselves deeper and deeper in debt. But Mr. Archive was a man who said, man, no matter what he did each year, his money, his wealth grew more rapidly than he could spend it. I believe that's where each and every one of us should desire to get to if we desire to be wealthy, right? Where our income supersedes our expenses. And it grows more wider. And as it grows more wider, we get wealthier. And there were certain friends of younger days who came to him and said, you, Archive, are more fortunate than we. You've become the richest man in all Babylon while we struggle for existence. You can wear the finest garments. You got all the nice clothes. You can enjoy the rarest foods. You go eat wherever you want to eat. While we must be content if we can, clothe our families in raiment that is presentable and feed them as best we can. Yet once we were equal. We studied under the same master. We played in the same games, and neither the studies nor the games did you outshine us. And in the years since, you've become no more an honorable citizen than we. Nor have you worked harder than more faithfully insofar as we can judge. Why then should a fickle fate single you out to enjoy all the good things of life and ignore us who are equally deserving? Now his friends come to you because you know that's what's going to happen, right? As you desire to get wealthy and you begin to build wealth, you're going to see your friends come and say, wait a second, you're so lucky. Man, we do all the same stuff and we done learned the same, went to the same schools and all that stuff. Man, what makes you so lucky? What makes you so lucky? What's going on, Mr. Johnson? Is the friends trying to wonder what makes him so different? Thereupon Archive remonstrated with them, saying, if you have not acquired more than a bare existence in the years since we were youth, it is because you either have failed to learn the laws that govern the building of wealth, or else you do not observe them. And I believe that's Mr. Archive saying the same thing to us. All the wealthy people today are saying the same thing to us. You either have failed to learn the laws that govern building of wealth, or you know those laws, but you do not observe them. In the comments below, I'd like for you to share one law of building wealth that you have come to understand or know, whether you observe it or not. These are the same laws that are written in the Bible, same laws that are written in this book, same laws that don't change, and it's been the same for forever, decades, centuries, since the beginning of time. And what's one law of building wealth that you have come to understand, whether you observe it or not? Because a lot of this has to do with, as I said, discipline. The other part is actually has to do with just simply being obedient. It's called obeying the law or observing the law that you understand. Now, one that's simply easy for me that I talk about all the time is really just simple. I mean, if you never learn how to spend less than you earn, you'll never be rich. That's just simple for me to understand. I mean, because if my outgo keeps exceeding, if my expenses keep exceeding my income, and I go further and further into debt, I go further and further into needing to borrow money from someone, which means I go further and further into paying interest, right? Which Mr. Albert Einstein said that people who understand it, they earn interest. And people who don't, they pay it. It also says this in a good book. It says this, that those that are in debt are slaves to their master. I don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be a financial slave to anybody. Now we understand that there's some ways that you can leverage or use other people's money, but most people don't know how to do that. That's a strategy, right? So what's a simple law of building wealth that you understand, right? Grandma used to say something like this. Save for a rainy day. That's why we have the 52-week savings challenge that we started. Because we understand we should save, but most of us, what? We don't observe that law. The law of saving. The law of sowing seed into our very own financial life. Huh? Think about it for a second. Look at that. Mr. Jamal said, look at that. That's honor your parents. Now, who knew that has something to do, right, with the wealth that you'll have in your land? Because here's the deal. If you don't honor your parents, I mean, who else? Who will you honor or respect? So respect has a lot to do with it as well, right? What's a financial principle or law of building wealth that you have come to understand that you know, whether you observe it or not? Like I said, Mr. Arcad saying the same thing to us today. If you're not where you want to be financially, it's because you have either failed to learn the laws that govern the building of wealth, or you simply don't observe them. Either you don't know, or you do know and you don't do. This is why we say all the time, they say that people, that if you know better, you'll do better. That's simply not true. Many of us know that we should spend less than we earn, but yet we simply don't do it. Because what happens is something comes in front of us, it's that shiny new object, and we got to have it. And we got to have it right now, regardless of how much it's going to cost us to do it. Regardless of how much it's going to cost us to do it or to acquire it. Fickle fate is a vicious goddess who brings no permanent good to anyone. On the contrary, she brings ruin to almost every man upon whom she showers unearned gold. Unearned gold. Here's another breaking of the law. I see so many of us who try to get something for nothing. Who try to get something for nothing. Some of us will say you're doing people over. Some people say that it would be that it's simply what we would consider to be unfair. You try to get people to do something for you that you won't do for yourself, nor will you pay them for it. Unearned gold, stealing, or whatever. Unearned gold. She makes wanton spenders who soon dissipate all they receive and are left beset by overwhelming appetites and desires they have not the ability to gratify. Yet others whom she favors become misers and hoard their wealth, fearing to spend what they have, knowing they do not possess the ability to replace it. They further are beset by fear of robbers and doom themselves to lives of emptiness and secret misery. Others there probably are who can take unearned gold and add to it and continue to be happy and contented citizens. But so few are they. I know of them, but by hearsay. Think you of the men who have inherited sudden wealth, and see if these things are not so. His friends admitted that of the men they knew had inherited wealth, these words were true. And they besought him to explain to them how he had become possessed of so much prosperity. So he continued. In my youth, when I was young, I looked around me and saw all the good things there were to bring happiness and contentment. And I realized that wealth increased the potency of all of these. Said, man, when I was young, I looked around, I said, man, what is going to make people happy? And I realized that having money helps. Everybody put in comments below, having money helps. He said, man, this is what I noticed. I don't know if y'all noticed the same thing or not when y'all were young, but when I was young, here's what I noticed. Having money helps. It increases the potency of all of these. He said, wealth is power. With wealth, many things are possible. One may ornament the home of the richest of furnishings. One may sail the distant seas. One may feast of the delicacies of far lands. One may buy the ornaments of gold worker and the stone polisher. One may even build mighty temples for the gods. One may do all these things and many others in which there is delight for the senses and gratification for the soul. And when I realized all of this, I decided to myself that I would claim my share of the good things of life. I would not be one of those who stands afar off and enviously watching others enjoy. I would not be content to clothe myself in the cheapest raiment that looked respectable. I would not be satisfied with the lot of a poor man. On the contrary, I'll make myself a guest at this banquet of good things. Being, as you know, the son of a humble merchant, one of a large family with no hope of inheritance, and not being endowed, as you have so frankly said, with superior powers or wisdom, I decided that if I was to achieve what I desired, time and study would be required. So now we see from the richest man in Babylon, Mr. Archive, same that we see from the rich people of today. First, there was a decision that had to be made. They had to decide to be rich. Then he said, what we will find out very quickly. He said, here's what was going to be required: time and study. Time and study. How many guys would agree that if you put in the time and you study using that time to study, you can learn whatever it is that you want to learn? And that includes how to be rich. That includes how to build wealth. That includes how not to be poor. That includes how to be prosperous. He said, I realized that first I had to figure out what I wanted, what I desired. I desired to be rich. After I figured out, hey, here's what I want. Here's the type of life that I want to live. Then I had to decide that I was going to do it. And with that decision, I realized that it's going to require time and study. Everybody put in comments on time and study. Now, why is this so important? Because there's some of us who just continue to try to go after the fast money, the quick money. We for some reason, we think, man, I can get rich quick, and that never works out. You might get a little money, but it doesn't really last very long, because as quick as it comes will be as quick as it goes. They said, man, if I want to master money, it's going to require time and study. As for time, all men have it in abundance. You, each of you, have let slip by sufficient time to have made yourselves wealthy. Yet you admit you have nothing to show except for good families, of which you can be justly proud. How many guys will say, man, at this point in time in your life, wherever you are, whatever age you might be, that you've let time slip away? That you've had sufficient time to build wealth. You've had sufficient time to have put enough money, have money into your savings account. You've had sufficient time to do these things if you had decided to use your time more wisely. As for study, Did not our wise teacher teach us that learning was of two kinds? The one kind being things we learned and knew. The other being the training that taught us how to find out what we did not know. Two types of study. Things we learned and we now know. The other being training that taught us how to find out what we did not know. I think this second part is what we need help with. Learning how to find out what we don't know. Learning how to find out what we don't know. Therefore, did I decide to find out how one might accumulate wealth. And when I had found out, to make this my task and to do it well. For is it not wise that we should enjoy while we dwell in the brightness of the sunshine? For sorrows enough shall descend upon us when we depart for the darkness of the world of spirit. I found enjoyment as a scribe in the hall of records. As long hours each day I labored upon the clay tablets. Week after week and month after month I labored, yet for my earnings I had not to show. He said, man, I had a job. I went to work every week. I went to work every month. Week after week, I worked hard. But yet my earnings did not have to show. I worked hard. Day after day, week after week, month after month, and I was still broke. How many of us have been in this position in our life? We worked hard. Matter of fact, they told us in this society, if we work hard, we'll make it. We found that not to be true. Not that you shouldn't work hard, but he worked hard. And he was still broke. Food and clothing and penance to the gods and other things of which I could remember not what? Absorbed all my earnings. He worked hard. He got paid every 2 weeks. His food that he ate, the clothes that he wore, and whatever else he couldn't even remember where all his money went. How many of us find ourselves in this position? We work hard. We get paid. We know we got to eat. We know we got to pay for our house or our home or our shelter. We know we got to have some clothes on our back. But where the rest of the money went, we can't even remember. We can't even remember where it all went. What's going on, Courtney Gore Smith? How are you? Where was I? Oh, yeah, he can't remember where it all went. Therefore, I decided to find out, but my determination did not leave me. I'm still determined to figure this thing out. And one day, Algamesh, the moneylender, came to the house of the city master and ordered a copy of the 9th law, and he said to me, I must have this in 2 days. And if this task is done by that time, 2 coppers will I give to thee. So I worked hard, but the law was long. And when Algamesh returned, the task was unfinished. He was angry, and had I been his slave, he would have beaten me. But knowing the city master would not permit him to injure me, I was unafraid. So I said to him, Algamesh, you are a very rich man. Tell me how I may also become rich, and all night I will carve upon the clay, and when the sun rises, it shall be completed. So he was in the presence of a very wealthy man. He had a job to do. He wasn't able to complete the job because the job was arduous and long. But he said, hey, let me see if I can make a deal with this man, because I don't want to get paid. What I want to get is some wisdom. He smiled at me and replied, you are a forward knave, but we will call it a bargain. All night I carved, though my back pain and the smell of the wick made my head ache until my eyes could hardly see. But when it returned, that some of the tablets were complete. Now I said, tell me what you promised. You have fulfilled your part of the bargain, my son, he said to me kindly, and I'm ready to fulfill mine. I will tell you these things you wish to know because I'm becoming an old man and old tongues love to wag. And when the youth comes to age for advice, he receives the wisdom of the years. But too often the youth think that age knows only the wisdom of days that are gone. and therefore profits not. But remember this, the sun that shines today is the sun that shone when thy father was born, and will be still shining when thy last grandchild shall pass into the darkness. In other words, he said, there's nothing new under the sun. Everybody put that in the comments below. There's nothing new under the sun. The same principles that worked 100 years ago are the same principles that will work today. So don't be naive and think that, oh, this is old wisdom. Here's what I want you to understand, beautiful people. Wisdom never gets old. Wisdom never gets old. The thoughts of the youth, he continued, are bright lights that shine forth like the meteors that oft make brilliant the sky. But the wisdom of age is like the fixed stars that shine so unchanged that the sailor may depend upon them to steer his course. Mark your well my words, for if you do not, you will fail to grasp the truth that I will tell you, and you will think that your night's work has been in vain. And he looked at me shrewdly under his shaggy brows and said in a low, forceful tone, I found the road to wealth when I decided that a part of all I earned was mine to keep. And so will you. I found the road to wealth. So the richest man who taught the richest man had this to say: the beginning to your road to wealth is when you decide that a part of all you earn is yours to keep. Here's the reason why we have started or restarted after 5 years, bringing back to the public what we have done, we do on a regular basis, the 52-week savings challenge. It's to help you to walk out the belief, if you believe it, that a part of all that you earn is yours to keep. And it said that, hey, if you adopt this philosophy, then you will begin on your road to wealth as well. How many guys are saying, you know what, I'm going to hop on this save train. I am going to journey along with this group of people who are deciding that a part of all they earn is theirs to keep, even if it's a small little portion. And you're saying, you know what, I want to take a journey, a year-long journey, to see how much money will I get to keep. How much of what I earn will still be with me by year's end, after 52 weeks. Is that you? You're saying, man, I'm going on this 52-week journey. I'm tired of being broke. I realize if it is to be, it's up to me. And I'm making the decision today. Like the old wealthy man said, a part of all that I earn is mine to keep. Then he continued to look at me with a glance that I could feel pierce me, but said no more. Is that all? I asked. That was sufficient to change the heart of a sheep herder into the heart of a moneylender, he replied. But all I earn is mine to keep, is it not? I demanded. Far from it. Do you not pay the garment maker? Do you not pay the sandal maker? Do you not pay for the things you eat? Can you live in Babylon without spending? What you have to show for your earnings of the past month? What for the past year? Fool! You pay to everyone but yourself. Dullard, you labor for others. As well be a slave and work for what your master gives you to eat and wear. If you do not keep for yourself 1/10 of all you earn, if you did keep for yourself 1/10 of all you earn, how much would you have in 10 years? My knowledge of the numbers did not forsake me, and I answered, as much as I earned in 1 year. For you speak but half the truth, he retorted. Every gold piece you have saved is a slave to work for you. Every little bit that you save is a slave to work for you. Every little bit that you save becomes a slave to work for you. How many guys want to be in a position where you have gotten your money working for you? In other words, you then get to that last phase of learning, which is learning how to multiply your money. Every little bit that you earn becomes a slave to work for you. Every copper it earns is this child that can also earn for you. If you will become wealthy, then what you save must earn, and its children must earn, that all may help to give you the abundance you crave. He said, every gold piece you save is a slave to work for you. Every copper or every nickel or every dime or every penny it earns is its child and can earn for you. If you would become rich, if you will become wealthy, then what you save must earn. Everybody put in the comments, so what I save must earn. What you save must earn, that all may help you to give you the abundance you crave. So, my beautiful people, here on the 52-week savings challenge, as we begin to save, we must also adopt the understanding that everything that I save must earn. A little philosophy that we teach, a little understanding is that you have your savings account or you have your checking account, which will be to spend for your life, your expenses, to pay the rent, to pay the car note, to pay the insurance, all that stuff. But then there's this thing called the savings account, which hopefully you already have one set up. If not, you're setting one up, you're starting, and you're saying, you know what, this year is going to be different, or this year is going to be better, or this year is going to be more prosperous. This might be the beginning for some, this is a continuance for others. And then now you have another account, which many of us may not have. This is an account that I'm going to call the multiply account. We're going to call this the Baby Kids account, because this is where your money goes not to die, but to multiply. This is where the children of your money, this is where you put your money to work for you. This is your hard labor, where your money goes to hard labor to work for you. Some may call it an investment account. Some might call it a brokerage account. There's all different types of accounts, real estate account, I don't know, all different types of accounts that you can have set up that your money goes to work for you. So we're saving not just for a rainy day. We're saving with the understanding that every dollar, quarter, nickel, dime, penny that I save must earn or must go to work for me. So we do this every week, 52-week savings challenge. This is week number 2 here on the New Black Wall Street. We do encourage you, right, to join us for the New Black Wall, for our Black Billionaires Club, which we do a lot more of this. Okay, so if you're saying, you know what, I'll start, but you realize or you understand how a lot of times when you start, you don't finish. That's because you probably don't have the accountability that you need. And so if you're saying, you know what, I'm going to hold myself accountable because I'm going to exchange just like he did. He said, you know what, I'm going to make a bargain. And I'm going to bargain with the richest man. I'm going to bargain with a man who understands money so I can learn what I don't know. And he said, man, I'll do this. I'll go to work all night long. And I'll make sure that your stuff is done. In return, I'm going to exchange my hard labor, or I'm going to exchange the money that you would have paid me for some wisdom. How many guys would exchange money for wisdom? Well, you have the opportunity to do that by simply joining the Black Billionaires Club. You're saying, you know what, I need some assistance on a regular basis. I want to be able to set up some one-on-one appointments. I want to get connected with a group of people who are doing this, so I'm not just doing it by myself. I am willing to exchange a little change for some wisdom. I'm no longer going to be a person that's just trying to get something for nothing, because literally when I do that, I get a little bit, but I don't get enough. That's you. will simply go to the Black Billionaires Club and make a decision to join the club today. Here's what I understand. That if you could do it by yourself, it would already be done. It would have been done 5 years ago. It would have been done 10 years ago. It would have been done 20 years ago. If you could do it by yourself, it would have already been done. I'm simply encouraging you to make a decision to exchange a little bit of change for a whole lot of wisdom and accountability so you can truly live your best financial life in 2020. Live your best financial life in 2020. Simply go to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Make a decision to change your financial future forever. This is the New Black Wall Street. And I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, saying thanks so much for joining us here today on our episode as we're going through week 2 of the 52-week saving challenge, and also going through what I consider to be the best financial book that I've ever read that I encourage you to get. A $10 book that could change the way that you think and change your life forever, called The Richest Man in Babylon. We'll pick up in this chapter when we pick back up next week, Wednesday. Tomorrow, we'll be starting our journey in the New Black Wall Street Book Club into the Black Billionaires Club, which is a study of the 12 richest Black people who live today, who we can garner some of the same wisdom from if we have a desire to be rich, if we have a desire to be wealthy. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. And thank God that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Aboard! Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there at the next episode of the new Black Wall Street. The new Black Wall Street.